It's the magic of math here, and today we're going to determine what percent of the beads in the jar are blue. Here we go. We're told that we have a jar of beads that is being sold at a store. The jar contains 35 beads. 2/5 of the beads in the jar are blue. All the other beads in the jar are green. And we're asked to determine what percentage of the beads in the jar are green. Here's where I'd like you to pause the video, do your best work, and then come back to see mine. Good luck. Welcome back. So we want to determine the percentage of beads in the jar that are green. We're going to do this by using the information provided. Starting off, they've told us that the jar contains 35 beads total. I'm going to model this with a visual model using a bar diagram. So here's my bar. And I know that I have 35 beads total in my jar. So I know that 100% of my jar is 35 beads. That's the whole. 35 beads in my jar represents 100% of the beads. And we can also know that we're going to start when the jar was empty, there was 0 or 0%. Now let's move on to the second bit of information given to us. We're told that 2/5 of the beads in the jar are blue. So I'm going to take my visual representation. Remember, this represents my whole jar of 35 beads. And we're told that 2/5 of the jar is blue. So let's divide our bar diagram into 5 equal sections. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5, or my 1 whole. So we're told that 2 of these 5 sections are blue. So let's shade in so that we visually understand. 2/5 of my jar are blue. And then our next bit of information is that all the other beads in the jar are green. So let's shade in the remaining of our bar diagram as green. So now we have a visual model that shows the amount of blue beads in the jar to green beads. So now let's understand each section of this bar diagram and what it means. So we have 35 total, and we've divided it into 5 equal sections. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. So that means each section of this bar diagram represents 7 beads. So we can label this top that if we get to this section of the bar, we've 7 beads, 14, add 7 and get 21, 28, 35. So we have now our percent at the bottom. So we have 1/5, 2/5. So 2/5 are 14. 2/5 of the beads are blue. That's 14 are blue. So 100% divided by 5 is 20. So we have 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. So each section represents 20%. So we know that 7 beads is 20% of the jar. 14 beads is 40% of the jar. So now we are ready to say that we are just wanting to know the percentage of beads that are green. So we see 3/5 of our bar is green and 7 sections each, 7 beads in each section. So 7 times 3 is 21. So we know that 21 of our beads are green, but we want to find the percentage. So we need each bar section, each of the 5 is 20%. So 20, 40, 60. So we know the section that is green is 60%, 40% is blue, 60% is green. So we can answer the percentage of beads in the jar that are green is 60%. And there you have it. That is how we determine what percent are blue using a visual model, a bar diagram. Thanks for joining me today at The Magic of Math, where we continue to master math one video at a time. I hope you have a great day and you come back soon.